Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, no. Smell that? Smell that? That right there is the scent of pure excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind! And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, June 18th, 2022. I've been gone for 2 weeks, but man, it fucking felt like 2 months. Last week I took the weekend off, and a nice weekend with my family. Now I'm back. I am back, and better than ever. I am back and better than ever. And let me tell you something, it is going to be a really, really, really fun show, a very busy show, a very eventful week. Probably the most eventful and the most craziest week in professional wrestling in quite some time. We have a lot to get into, including Vince McMahon and the allegations against him, Sasha Banks, and why she could potentially be released. And if she is released, where does she go? Jeff Hardy arrested for another DUI. Randy Orton is out. He could very well miss the entire rest of the year. Two Dimes, Troy Two Dimes Donovan from NXT 2.0 has been released, and why Roman Reigns was given both the WWE and the Universal Heavyweight titles, plus 4 weekly shows, Raw, AEW Dynamite, SmackDown, and Rampage. We're going to go over all of it. Let's check the chat, actually. We got a solid group of people here. We got Mitch Kofsky, my main man Mitch. We got Shooter. We got Peanuts. Dee, of course, the #1 mod over here. Normal Guy, baby, of course. Greatly appreciate all of you. Let's take a look at how many likes do we got. We got exactly 8 likes. That's 8. Count them 8. If you guys are coming on in, you got to be sure to smash that like button. We have a lot to talk about. I am very happy to be back here. And the vacation, let me tell you something. The little vacation was definitely needed. I definitely needed it after the long and busy 2-week stretch that I had of uploading almost every single day, streaming almost every single day. Some days I had work and I was exhausted, but I still streamed anyway. But I greatly appreciate every single person that came out of their way to watch me during that 2-week stretch. And we are going to get back into the swing of things. Of course, we got a big week coming up in pro wrestling towards the end of the month. We got Forbidden Door, Blood and Guts, and Money in the Bank. It's going to be big. It is going to be hectic. I can't wait for it myself, and I can't wait to upload some content. Of course, we got the rundown for Forbidden Door on June 26th at 2 p.m. And then we got the rundown for Money in the Bank, which I plan on doing on Thursday night. I plan on doing it Thursday night at 7:30 p.m., I want to say. I feel as though that's a good time. Thursday, which is the 30th, June 30th at 7:30 p.m. I will let you know my guests for both of those shows as we get closer to the dates. Little announcement before we get into the festivities here on the Lightning Flash update. I have officially been partnered up with a new sporting network, the future of all sports analytics, whether it be football, baseball, wrestling, hockey, no matter what you like, it is the future of all sporting analytics, and that is Hardcore Sports Network. Me and Mitch Kofsky, we are a part of it. Mitch Kofsky was actually one of the founders behind Hardcore Sports Network, so shout out to him. If you want to go and check out Hardcore Sports Network and check them out, what they're all about, what we are going to be seeing and all the great content creators that are a part of Hardcore Sports Network, please go take a look. In the description, you will find the Twitter account. That's right, the Twitter account of Hardcore Sports Network, which is Hardcore Sports N. And you will find the Instagram account as well, which is Hardcore Sports Network. Both of those links are in the description, as well as the link to their YouTube channel. So if you want to go check out the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, the link is in the description. We are going to take over the world of sports analytics, and it is going to be a damn fun time. We got 13 people in here. It is rocking and rolling here tonight. We got Green Collar Tyler. We got Brian King as well, and the Final Hoss. You guys are great. I greatly appreciate everyone stopping by, coming on in, and hanging out with me. We're going to cause some mayhem. We're going to talk some wrestling. But again, Hardcore Sports, ladies and gentlemen, their Twitter, their Instagram, and their YouTube channel. The links are in the description. Please go check them out after the stream is over. I will be making my debut there very, very shortly. We're just working out everything, making sure we are up to code on all the technological issues, making sure we got the StreamYard premium account, making sure that we reach 100 subs. So if you haven't subbed to Hardcore Sports, please go sub to Hardcore Sports. I believe we got exactly 74 subs. So we're almost there. We're almost there. And the quicker we get to 100, the quicker you're going to see me on there. And the quicker we get to 1,000, the quicker we're going to get monetized. And the quicker I'm going to be able to start getting paid for this shit. Because Lord knows I deserve to get paid for this shit. I really do. But nevertheless, go check it out. Go check it out. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on Twitter and Instagram. Please add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure you like the official DJ Storms business page. And I made you send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is. All of those links are in the description. If you haven't done it already, we are 8 minutes into the stream. Please make sure you have hit the like button. It is ultra, ultra, ultra vital. We have about 10 likes. That is right, 10 solid likes on the stream right now. It's good, but I think we could do a hell of a lot better. I think we can at least get to 20. I think we can at least get to 20. It is super vital that you guys help me out. And in order for you guys to help me out, you got to hit the like button. And, of course, you got to share it out on all platforms of social media. Whatever social media platforms that you may use, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you use, share it out and let everyone know that DJ Storms is live on YouTube. We're going to be talking about a lot of juicy shit. A lot of juicy shit. And if you want to hear me rant and rave and get really in depth on all the juicy shit that came out this week, I'm telling you right now, you are going to want to hit that like button and share it out to everyone. Of course, hit the subscribe button as well and hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. This is Earl Cole's favorite part of the stream. We're going to see him in the chat a little bit later on, I expect. But we're going to light it up on the stream right now with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of Because just like Mitch Kovsky says, I am, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best in the business. There is no one that can touch me. I am virtually invincible. I am a god of wrestling analytics. So be sure that you get everyone in here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell that way you can see me in all of my glory. I actually just shaved today. I touched it up a little bit. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. You already know the drill. Anyway, we are going to get right into the news, the rumors, and the reports. I guess we should start with Jeff Hardy. Let's start with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, he was arrested at 10:30 a.m. in the morning in Florida for yet another DUI. Per Mark Raimondi of ESPN, Jeff Hardy's blood alcohol tests, he took 2, they read as follows: a 0.294 and a 0.291. Clearly, there is no sugarcoating that, as that is 3.7, nearly 4 times the legal limit. Matt Hardy and Tony Khan both issued statements regarding Jeff Hardy's DUI arrest. Matt promised to help his brother, while Tony Khan suspended Jeff Hardy without pay and offered to assist him in his alcoholic rehab program, which he stated that Jeff Hardy is currently open to receiving. The Undertaker will always go down as my favorite WWE superstar of all time, but when I first started watching professional wrestling, it was The Undertaker at number 1, and then right underneath The Undertaker was Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was one of the most inspirational superstars of the 90s. He was one of the most inspirational superstars in the history of WWE. He inspired so many people to take death-defying risks and go out of their way, risk their life and limb to entertain the fans. Many people compared people like Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin to guys like Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy will go down as one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time and perhaps one of the best baby faces in the history of professional wrestling. Everyone loves Jeff Hardy. I don't know what's going on in Jeff Hardy's personal life, but clearly something is wrong up here. Something is wrong up here, and something is being triggered in Jeff Hardy's brain that is causing him to constantly drown his demons in alcohol or drugs or whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever the fuck he does. He's clearly not right in the head. Something is clearly wrong. And I know for a fact that demons can be rough. I have actually had people come to me saying that they've dealt with demons, and I've actually tried to talk through to some people and get them through difficult times when they're dealing with their demons. I've had fans that have come to me, and I've talked to them regarding their alcoholism, which I'm not going to name any names because that's really not my business. But if you know who you are, you know who you are. And clearly my words helped because those fans that I talked to were able to kick this alcoholism, and they drink responsibly. Jeff Hardy's demons clearly are stronger than anything that we could have expected. But as far as him getting behind the wheel, and I saw the footage from TMZ, very, very frightening. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. I didn't know what to expect, but Jeff Hardy clearly didn't know where the fuck he was, saying he drank some fucking fireballs in the morning. Clearly, that's not all he had based on the video that you saw. I don't know what the fuck happened, but clearly he was in denial. Clearly he was not right in the fucking head. And clearly shit has gotten so out of control that he can't run from it anymore. He can't. Every single time we think that Jeff was on the right path, especially since he joined AEW. We thought that Jeff was on the right path. He was with his brother Matt. He was surrounded by family. It was a family-oriented environment. People could watch over him. And then this scenario happens. It's quite sad, if you ask me. It's quite sad. And to be quite honest with you, I don't really feel sorry for him after, this is what, his fourth fucking time? His fourth fucking time. Jeff Hardy, you're really not smart enough to call up an Uber or call someone to be your designated driver when clearly you are not up to code to be operating a fucking vehicle because you are drunk off your ass? I'm sorry, that's just irresponsibility right there. Completely irresponsible on the part of Jeff Hardy, and I do not feel sorry for him whatsoever regarding him getting arrested for another DUI. That's his own doing. That's his own doing. Now, as far as what happened with Tony Khan and how they're approaching it And the fact that now he's going into an alcoholic rehab program after this final strike, realistically, 2 strikes ago should have been the final strike, but this finally is the final strike. Now, hopefully, cross our fingers, we can finally be on the road to Jeff Hardy being in a better position in his life. Matt Hardy was able to do it. Jeff Hardy can damn sure do it as well. And what Tony Khan did, excellent move by Tony Khan. Pulled Jeff Hardy, he suspended him without pay, and now Jeff Hardy is in a scenario where he has no choice but to go to rehab. He's finally open to receiving it. And for everyone that's trying to get on Jeff Hardy's case because of what happened back in December with that WWE live event, he wasn't under the influence. He was fine. His demons were under control back then. Jeff Hardy was not drunk. He was not under the influence in that event. He did that specifically to get out of his contract. His drug test came back negative. Same thing with what happened at Double or Nothing. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't under the influence. He was concussed. He was concussed. This, completely different scenario. This, he was legitimately under the influence. He legitimately fucked up. I don't feel sorry for him, but the fact that he is now going to get the help that he needs, this I'm very pleased to see. However, there's one thing that I would have done if I was Tony Khan. Now, I'm not sure if he did this. I don't know if he plans on doing this. I don't know what the plan is regarding Jeff Hardy and if he can maintain his sobriety. But what I am going to say, if I'm Tony Khan, I would absolutely, if not already, I would sit Jeff Hardy down and tell Jeff Hardy straight up, listen, if you fuck up again, I will not only terminate you, but I will terminate your brother. He clearly has no regard for his physical well-being, regardless of whether or not he feels guilty, regardless of whether or not he feels sorry. And listen, I'm not even going to compare this to the Tammy Sytch incident because Tammy Sytch legitimately does not give a shit about anyone. She's an absolute menace to society. Jeff Hardy is not. He feels guilt. He feels sorrow. He just can't control his demons. Now, he's finally in a position where he's going to get the proper help that he needs. But if I'm Tony Khan, I am sitting Jeff Hardy down and I am telling him, if you fuck up again, I am not only firing you, I am firing your brother too. He needs to put Jeff Hardy in a scenario where his brother's job is also on the line, so that way Jeff Hardy can really understand that his actions not only have consequences on himself, but they also have consequences on his brother. His brother was taken out of that ladder match between Jurassic Express and the Bucks on Wednesday. We still got a great match, but the Hardys were not there because of Jeff Hardy's fuck-up. Matt Hardy was affected in that regard. Now we need to take it a step further and threaten not only Jeff's job, but Matt's job. And hopefully Matt can get through to Jeff, and Jeff can finally break this fucking habit, at least until wrestling is done with. Then he could do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't care. He would still be wrong to get behind the wheel when he's drunk, but at the end of the fucking day, if he's not in a wrestling capacity, in a scenario where he's under the influence or putting his job at risk, then I don't think many people are really going to care anymore. But I've lost sympathy for Jeff Hardy. I really have. I'm still a fan, but as an individual, I cannot support him in this scenario. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't. Now, he's open to receiving the rehab program. Good. Good. But again, if I'm Tony Khan, I would absolutely say, listen, you fuck up, then at the end of the fucking day, it's over. Not only for you, but for your brother too. That is the proper way to go about things. Randy Orton. Per Fightful Select, Randy Orton is dealing with a severe back injury that WWE fears could sideline him for the rest of the year if he should require surgery. Now, it was said last night on SmackDown by Matt Riddle that Randy Orton, he's going to require surgery, and he is indeed going to be out for the rest of the year. This was not caused by anything specific other than the fact that he's a pro wrestler. He gets slammed on his back. Takes a toll on you. It's quite simple. You are a pro wrestler. You are in a scenario where you have to take bumps. You're going to get slammed, and dropped on your back time after time again, it's going to take a toll on your back. There's really nothing more to say there. Really nothing more to say there. But I do believe Randy Orton will be fine in the end. I do believe that Randy Orton's going to get the surgery that he needs. He's going to be fine in the end. He's going to give us a few more years of his career. And at the end of it, Randy Orton will have a proper storybook end to his illustrious career, whenever that may be. He's in the best shape of his life right now. But the one thing that I'm focusing on is what's going on with WWE and how everything has worked out with their television program. Look at how many people are out with injury. The injury bug is plaguing wrestling. Not just WWE, but AEW too. But AEW's fine because their roster's fucking stacked. WWE, not so much. Roman is now on a Brock Lesnar schedule. You got Cody out with a torn pec. Randy Orton's now out with a back injury. The company is pretty much operating with half their fucking roster, not even half their fucking roster with those guys out, because all they do is put effort into a handful of guys. Not even. 2-3 guys at most. This is affecting WWE more so than anyone else. So much so they actually had to change the SummerSlam main event because Randy Orton was rumored to fight Roman, which I will go over. I will be going over when we get to the SmackDown portion of the review, because I got some shit to say about that and I got a lot of shit to rant about. But Randy Orton, he'll be fine in the end. He will be fine in the end. He will get the surgery that he needs. He's going to recuperate, rehab, and I can see him coming back in the Royal Rumble. You know that he's going to be coming back at some point next year because after Roman Reigns inevitably loses the championship to Seth Rollins, which I do believe that Seth Rollins will inevitably cash in on Roman Reigns in some capacity, and he's going to become the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion. At the end of it, we're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, and then Randy Orton's going to be right there. Cody and Randy is a made feud waiting to happen based off of their history and the legacy. And you know right then and there, that right there could be the best feud of 2023 if they want it to be. They did it with Edge and Rollins. They could do it with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton too. But Randy Orton's ultimately going to be fine. But I have no sympathy for WWE because now all their top stars are going down with injury or Roman's on vacation. And now we are in a scenario where the WWE is operating with pretty much no roster. They failed to create new stars. That's what happens. We got 12 people rocking and rolling in the chat. And before we continue on, just want to shout some people out. Shout out to Dylan Catcham. Shout out to Callan Corner. Shout out to Toally and the Final Hoss. You guys have been fantastic. If you guys haven't already done so, please make sure you are hitting that like button when you come on in. We are at 13 likes. 13 likes, and we're not even 30 minutes into the stream. We got plenty more to talk about, and we're going to continue on by talking about NXT 2.0. NXT 2.0 for about 1 second. We got Lisa Wardlow in the chat and KPG. How you doing? How y'all doing? NXT 2.0, we all know NXT 2.0 absolutely sucks donkey balls, but one of the more tolerable acts on there, actually a great act on there, is Tony D'Angelo. He added two guys called Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Troy Two Dimes Donovan, excuse me. According to Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com, WWE has released Troy Two Dimes Donovan of the D'Angelo family last Saturday, June 11th. He stated that this wasn't a budget or creative decision, but a policy issue. And he was told he may be brought back in a year. So clearly, this had nothing to do with being a quote-unquote budget cut. But even though it's not a budget cut, it's just them failing to create new stars and just giving up on people just like that. Vince changing his fucking mind on pushing stars more so than he changes his fucking adult diapers. But as far as Troy Two Dimes Donovan goes, this was a policy issue. A policy issue. I don't know what specific policy he violated. Probably a certain cold medication, because I remember Natalya, she stated something regarding the the wellness policy that WWE superstars aren't allowed to take certain cold medications because it screws up with their system, whatever it may be. Makes them drowsy. I don't know what specifically he took. I'm not sure what specifically he did, but clearly he was unaware of the policy. It was an honest mistake. I don't think he should have been fired. I don't think he should have been fired from the policy issue if he was unaware of what's going on. But if anything, he could have been suspended for 30 days if he violated the wellness. If this was his first violation, why did he need to be fired? If WWE told him that they were going to bring him back in a year, then at the end of the day, wouldn't firing him ultimately be completely fucking meaningless in the end? You took an act away from Tony D'Angelo that helped him, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Troy Two Dimes Donovan, they were actually a pretty decent fucking tag team. So much so that I could have seen them as the tag team to take the NXT tag team titles off of the Creed brothers in a few more years if they just continued working and continued improving, growing, and maturing. And now that's probably not going to happen. If you're asking me, this is another Nash Carter scenario. He was released unjustifiably, released for no fucking reason. And on top of that, Tony D'Angelo could end up outgrowing Stacks and whatever other people that they have affiliated with him. Tony D'Angelo could end up coming up through the rankings as the next big thing while leaving everybody else that he's affiliated with in the dust. So you pretty much released Two Dimes for nothing. Not really the way I would have gone about it at all. If he was unaware of the policy, then it is what it is. If he was aware, okay, that made sense, but at the end of the fucking day, there was no need to fire him if this was his first violation, and he hasn't been here for that long. He's only been here since March, I think. 3 months? Not really a wise way to go about it. Roman Reigns. WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes provided us an update. They provided us an update on why Roman Reigns was given the WWE and the Universal Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 38. They tweeted out, and I quote, "According to a source, the creative decision to unify the titles was with the understanding that it would allow Roman to appear on both shows more regularly. Maybe that wasn't the best decision." End quote. I mean, no shit, it wasn't the best decision, because now Roman Reigns is going on a vacation, which clearly they obviously knew something about, but they gave him the 2 world titles anyway. You're pretty much taking 2 world titles off of WWE television effectively, making Roman Reigns another Brock Lesnar. And then on top of that, if you were going to have Roman appear on both Raw and SmackDown more regularly, why didn't you just end the fucking brand split? You already got Monday Night Raw superstars appearing on SmackDown and SmackDown superstars appearing on Raw, but the brand split apparently is still active. And if Fox wanted brand exclusivity, then you were better off just doing 2 separate world title matches at WrestleMania. At the end of the day, when this is all said and done, Roman Reigns and the Brock Lesnar feud that he had for 7 months and the feud that he's going to have going into SummerSlam, everything concerning the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar feud would ultimately be for nothing. WWE wasted all of our times from SummerSlam all the way to WrestleMania 38 with Roman and Lesnar, because at the end of the day, they just gave Roman both titles for the simple fact that he's Roman Reigns and he could potentially appear on both shows. Meanwhile, all they could have done was end the fucking brand split. But no, they bend over backwards and they take it up the ass for Fox and NBC Universal because they want brand exclusivity. And the networks are like 2 fucking rams clashing. It's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. WWE fucked up. And again, just like Jeff Hardy, I don't feel sorry for WWE because you reap what you sow. You get out what you put in. If you're not going to go out of your way to create the new stars that you need for the future, then at the end of the day, your show is going to suffer if you continuously push 1, 2, 3 fucking people and that's it. Can't do that shit. That shit was fine back in the day. But nowadays, it's about the overall show. You take a look at AEW, they got backup plan after backup plan after backup plan after backup plan. Kenny Omega's out. CM Punk's out. Bryan Danielson's out for the time being. He'll be back sooner rather than later. And a couple of other people are out for the time being. Who's to say that if WWE, if they were able to create X amount of new stars underneath their top guys, who's to say that they wouldn't have had all these backup plans in place? But now they're fucking scrambling. WWE is at fault here. And honest to God, Roman Reigns has not been done justice at all this year. The DQ finish with Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble. The match with Goldberg was a 5-minute snooze fest. The match with Lesnar meant nothing. And then, now this match with Matt Riddle, it was an excellent match. Probably Roman's best match in a while. And now he's going into another feud with Brock Lesnar. Meaningless. Roman Reigns and his title reign has been fucked up. Just like I knew WWE would. I called it 2 years ago. That they were going to fuck this up, and they did. WWE doesn't know how to book anyone. Even when Roman Reigns is at his peak in his career as a heel, they can't get him right. Every single time WWE has something good on their hands, they fuck it up. Simple. Simple as that. Jake Atlas. Don't expect him to be back in AEW anytime soon because of what happened. Jake Atlas is not expected to return to AEW. According to Fightful, it was noted that Atlas signed a pay-per-appearance deal, and after his injury, that deal was paused. Atlas is no longer officially tied with the company. Now, that kind of sucks for Jake Atlas, and it's shit that unfortunately happens. But guys like that, Tony Khan is right to pay them on pay-per-appearance deals because at the end of the fucking day, it is pretty much meaningless to keep guys like that signed because Jake Atlas, listen, he's great at what he does, but he's not going anywhere. Jake Atlas is not going anywhere specifically because of the fact that he's just a great wrestler with really no charisma or character to him. So at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a loss. But I do feel bad for Jake Atlas. What I don't feel bad for Jake Atlas for is the fact that he got arrested because of an incident at a bar. So at the end of the day, all this shit, especially tied in with the Jeff Hardy incident, this shit just further proves to everyone why I don't drink, why I've been straight edge. I have been legal to drink for the last 2.5 years. And I have not taken one single solitary sip of alcohol because, quite frankly, I don't understand the big hype around it. It's meaningless. It's shit. Not one single sip of alcohol, not one single puff of weed or a cigarette, not one single illegal pill that I popped. Nothing. Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks was certainly the talk of the town. Raj Giri. He's affiliated with Wrestling Inc. If you don't know who Raj Giri is. Raj Giri broke a huge bombshell of a rumor on Wednesday evening after Dynamite went off the air. Legitimately minutes after Dynamite went off the air. He broke a huge bombshell of a rumor claiming that Sasha Banks has been released from WWE. And this got everyone scrambling into a fucking frenzy. And everyone from Meltzer to Sapp to Andrew Zarian, they were all trying to find out rumors, trying to find out clarification on what this report actually meant, whether or not it was true, which side finally decided enough is enough, whether Sasha requested it, whether WWE just flat out released her right then and there. Andrew Zarian reported a day after Raj Giri's report that he had no sources tell him that Sasha Banks had been released, but her lawyers are currently working on making it a reality. So that very well could be the answer to everything. Her lawyers are going to be busting their asses to try and make this a clear-cut reality. Then WrestleVotes actually came out with a tweet stating that they've heard from multiple higher-up people, a lot of good sources, and I'm talking about some wrestlers as well, that they felt that Raj Giri's report was actually true and that Sasha Banks was released. Now, I don't know if I really want to believe this. I don't know. I don't think I am going to say that I believe this yet. I don't think I'm going to say that I believe this yet. And the reason being is because it's been confirmed by a few sources here and there, but it hasn't really been confirmed by the whole worldwide community yet. And on top of that, the reason why I don't want to believe it yet is only because it's just so shocking. It's so sudden. It's something that just came out of nowhere. It really is something that just came out of nowhere. Do I hope that it's true? Abso-fucking-lutely, I hope that it's true. Sasha does not need the WWE, and WWE, they do not deserve to have Sasha Banks on their roster. So I am 1,000% hoping that this is true. After everything that Sasha Banks has been through and all the bullshit that Sasha Banks had to endure throughout the course of her run in WWE, all the mistreatment, everything from being shafted for Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss and constantly made into a mockery, only having 30 days worth of a title reign, never given the ball for a chance to run with it, being shafted for Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Meanwhile, the division suffered week in and week out. So at the end of the day, I truthfully fucking hope that Sasha Banks is gone. I truthfully fucking hope that Sasha Banks is gone. And if she is gone, holy mother of God. Holy mother of God. We could be looking at the most unprecedented moment in professional wrestling since CM Punk came back. CM Punk coming back. That was probably the greatest moment of pro wrestling's modern era since CM Punk's pipe bomb. But I'm telling you, if Sasha comes in, this is absolutely going to be a major history bookmark in women's wrestling. This is unprecedented. And I don't want anyone to tell anyone any different. Do not tell me that it's not unprecedented. Do not come at me with this bullshit that Sasha's unprofessional. Don't tell me that she needs WWE. Go fuck yourself. Suck my Italian nuts. I don't care. This is fucking unprecedented if it's true. I don't believe it's true yet, but hypothetically speaking, if it is, this is fucking huge because Sasha Banks was absolutely one of the pillars, if not the biggest fucking pillar in the women's revolution in WWE. Sasha Banks is women's professional wrestling. Sasha Banks has made a career off of making people believe in women's wrestling. Sasha Banks and Bayley started the women's revolution, and that match at TakeOver Brooklyn still is referenced to this day as the greatest women's match in WWE history. Maybe the greatest women's match of all time. It was something so special, and WWE took that for granted. WWE took that for granted, and at the end of it all, Sasha Banks was nothing more than a fucking afterthought. She was used as a glorified enhancement talent. She was nothing more than the women's version of Sami Zayn. Great wrestler, but never got her legit moment in the sun. She was given how many fucking reigns as Raw Women's Champion, and none of them lasted over 30 days? What about her reign as SmackDown Women's Champion? They didn't even do her justice in that reign, and she held that title for about 6 months. Sasha realistically should have been the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, not fucking Becky Lynch. Her NXT Women's Championship title reign is still her longest ever title reign in WWE history. That just goes to show you who values Sasha Banks and who doesn't. Triple H valued Sasha Banks. Vince McMahon doesn't. And I'm telling you right now, if she is released and we do see her in 90 days, I'm telling you right now, we got Grand Slam coming up in the fall. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm getting that woman on the fucking phone and I am signing her to a deal in which Sasha Banks is going to make her debut at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, which I hope to be at this year. She makes her debut at Grand Slam, and as soon as she makes her debut, she is built up for a match with Thunder Rosa, and she becomes the AEW Women's World Champion, and she holds that championship for the next year plus. She becomes the longest reigning AEW Women's World Champion. Why? Because she is that damn good. This is absolutely unprecedented. And if we end up getting Mercedes as a part of the AEW Women's Division, that is it. The AEW Women's Division is officially untouchable. They're officially untouchable. They're already on the route that they need to be on, and they're getting better week by week, month by month, year by year. Mercedes is added to that women's division. It is done. It is over. That women's division is untouchable, and they have the best women's division in all of the fucking world. Plain and simple. There is no disputing that. I don't know if this is true. I don't believe it's true, but I hope to fucking God that it is. I really do. Because at the end of the day, like I said, WWE does not deserve Sasha Banks. They don't deserve her. Vince doesn't deserve her. Nick Khan, Kevin Dunn, John Laurinaitis, Ed Kodsky, none of them, Bruce Pritchard, none of them deserve Sasha Banks. Sasha could easily go anywhere in the world, whether it be wrestling or Hollywood or whatever fucking profession that she wants to go into, and she could take that shit by storm because she is just that good. She is the best at what she does. There's only two women that are on the level, if not better than Sasha Banks, and that's Io Shirai, and no matter what you think of her, Tessa Blanchard. Outside of those two women, Sasha is the best women's wrestler on the planet. I hope to God she is released. I thought the Jeff Hardy story was going to be the biggest story this week. Turns out it wasn't. The biggest story this week was what was coming out of the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal, they reported that the WWE Board of Directors is currently in an investigation. They are investigating an alleged secret $3 million settlement agreement by Vince McMahon to a departing employee. The report states that McMahon allegedly had an affair with this person. The former employee was hired as a paralegal in 2019 from speaking about the alleged affair, and this person cannot say anything disparaging about McMahon. The board's investigation reportedly began in April and has expanded into other non-disclosure agreements that involved misconduct claims made by other former female WWE employees about McMahon and John Laurinaitis. One email stated that McMahon increased the women's salary from $100,000 to $200,000 after beginning a sexual relationship with her, and that McMahon gave her like a toy to John Laurinaitis. And I quote, "My friend was so scared, so she quit after Vince McMahon and lawyer Jerry paid her millions of dollars to shut up," end quote, an email to the board said. The Wall Street Journal added that a WWE spokesman issued a statement saying that the relationship with the ex-paralegal was 100% consensual. Jerry McDivitt reportedly told Wall Street Journal that WWE didn't pay her anything, and all this comes directly from WrestlingNews.co. I read this on WrestlingNews.co, straight from the Wall Street Journal. And then it came out, I believe, on Thursday that Vince McMahon, he is stepping away as CEO temporarily. WWE even issued a statement regarding Vince McMahon stepping away as CEO temporarily, and Stephanie McMahon will be serving as interim CEO for the time being, while Vince McMahon clears up everything regarding this allegation. Again, like I've said time and time and time, more and more scenarios are coming up in which I'm just speechless. I really am. I don't know where to begin, and I don't know what to say. And I'm a guy that can't keep his mouth shut. I always got something to fucking say. But I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to articulate what I want to say. Let's start with the allegation, I guess. Am I surprised? No. I'm not surprised. Do you know who you're dealing with here? This is Vince McMahon. Have you seen what he's gone through over the course of X amount of years? This man has gotten away with committing crime after crime after crime after crime. And he's still here, and the WWE is still afloat. Do I think that Vince McMahon legitimately knew what he was doing? Yes, of course I knew what he was doing. He is a sick, perverted freak. He is a sick, perverted freak. And I don't need to read any article from WrestlingNews.co, the Wall Street Journal, or anything along those lines. I don't need to read that in order to know that Vince and John Laurinaitis and a couple of other people that are directly affiliated with Vince McMahon, I don't need to read that in order to know that they're sick, perverted freaks. All I need to do is watch the fucking show. All I need to do is watch the show, and I know exactly how they treat women's professional wrestlers. Just look at Toxic Attraction. Look at Toxic Attraction in NXT. And listen, I know for a fact that many people don't even watch NXT. Why? Because the show absolutely sucks dick. But at the end of the fucking day, Toxic Attraction is being pushed because they look like OnlyFans models. They come out there wearing the most minimal clothing ever, and they come out there showcasing their tits, showcasing their ass. Why? Because it gets Vince McMahon and whoever is affiliated with Vince McMahon all excited. That is their version of women's wrestling. That is how they treat women. So I am not surprised by this at all. You want to know what I find funny? Here's what I'm more focused on. And this is probably just me being a petty dickwad, but that's what I'm known for. The one thing that I'm focused on, and the one thing that I am just laughing over, is the fact that the same people who are condemning Vince and John Laurinaitis, and they're acting all surprised. This isn't surprising. It's already been known. John Laurinaitis is just like Vince. They're perverted freaks. They're perverted old geezers. Simple as that. I don't need to listen to whatever fucking audio podcast is talking about this allegation against Vince McMahon that he hired a paralegal and cheated on his wife. I don't need to know this to know what they think of women. All I need to do is watch the show. It's the worst women's division that it's ever been. It's the worst that the division has ever been. It may even be worse than when it was in the Divas era. The one thing I find the most hilarious is the fact that all the people that are condemning Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis for being the perverted freaks that they are, the one thing that I find most funny is that everyone condemning them are the same people that defended Becky Lynch's comments against the AEW women's division and how no one is on the women's division in WWE's level and they don't get as much time as we do and it's the best the division's ever been. All of those people were defending Becky Lynch, but yet you're damning Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. You want to talk about hypocritical? Look no further than that. If you defended Becky Lynch, you've essentially defended Vince and John Laurinaitis. You want to talk about stupidity. You want to talk about idiocy, retardation to the highest extent. You look at the people that defended Becky Lynch's comments. Absolutely fucking pathetic. Pathetic. Becky Lynch came out and essentially defended the poor treatment of WWE's women's division. Listen, I've said it once, I'll say it again. The AEW's women's division, it's not where it needs to be. But if you are going to come out here and deny the progress that they've made and deny the great matches that they've had this year, from Rosa and Baker to Rosa and Serena Deeb, Chris Statlander and Ruby Soho and X amount of other people, and Riho and Britt Baker having great matches with Ty Conti and Chris Statlander and Jade Cargill and Anna Jay, and the fact that they got Athena in there and Athena and Kiera Hogan tearing it down on Rampage. If you are going to come out and deny the obvious progress made by the AEW women's division, yet defend Becky Lynch and her idiotic comments defending what right now is the worst women's division in the world, then you, my friend, do not have any fucking place to comment on what's going on here with Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. You are a hypocritical moron. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You are no better than Vince McMahon. Becky Lynch and what she said, she's no better than Vince McMahon. And you people wonder why I call her Bimbo Lynch. Outside of a couple great matches here, and outside of Naomi, Charlotte, Bianca Becky, and Bianca Becky Asuka, and then maybe Becky and Lita at Elimination Chamber. Outside of those 4 matches, WWE's women's division hasn't produced jack shit this year. Nothing. And that right there is exactly what Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis and everyone that's a part of Vince's team thinks of women. They are pathetic, disgusting pigs. I am not shocked by this allegation at all. I'm not. Now, Stephanie McMahon, she will reportedly be serving as interim CEO for the time being. No, she won't. No, she won't. No. What makes you think that she is? What makes you think she is? Yeah, just like Shawn Michaels and Triple H are in charge of NXT still, right? Bullshit. Bullshit. If you actually believe that Stephanie McMahon is in charge of the WWE's day-to-day operations, you may be a legit mental retard. Really, you might be. You might be mentally retarded. Why did Vince McMahon, quote-unquote, step away? Why? Because that way, he's out of the public eye. That way, he's no longer under the microscope. Stephanie McMahon is nothing more than a poster girl. She was put there to be put in the public spotlight so that way everyone will focus on her if something goes wrong. But in reality, it's Vince McMahon that's running the show. It's Vince McMahon that is operating everything. It is Vince McMahon that is pulling the strings like the fucking puppet master that he is. This is not anything new. Everyone wants to say that, oh, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, they're in charge of NXT. No, they're not. It's Vince and Bruce. Why? Watch the fucking show. You take a look at 2019 versus 2022 NXT. You're telling me that it's one and the same? You're telling me that Triple H just decided to take NXT in a new direction? No, he didn't. No, he didn't, you fucking idiots. Vince is still running the company. Vince hasn't stepped down. Vince strategically did this so that way everything regarding the media and the mainstream attention, it's all off of him while he takes care of what's going on with this allegation. And by the way, for those of you saying, oh my God, this is finally going to be what drives Vince McMahon out of the WWE, and no longer will he be running the WWE. No, it won't. How many times has Vince McMahon been in a scenario where he should have realistically faced years in prison? I can name you 3 of the biggest ones right off the bat. The steroid trials, the Owen Hart debacle, and the Chris Benoit incident. Those 3 scenarios, Vince McMahon should have been locked away in prison for years upon years. Meanwhile, he made it out of all of those trials and all of those incidents unscathed. Why is that? Whether you love him or you hate him, Jerry McDivitt is the greatest lawyer on this planet. Jerry McDivitt is the greatest lawyer on this planet, and he just so happens to be the lawyer of Vince McMahon. And with that combination, Vince McMahon is essentially untouchable. Vince McMahon can go out there and behead. He could go out there and fucking behead Cedric Alexander or Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins or MVP or anyone. Austin, he could go out there and commit murder on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown in front of millions of people, and it would get social media headlines everywhere, and Jerry McDivitt would be able to get him out of that. Vince McMahon is essentially the closest individual that we have to God. He is untouchable. Plain and simple. I hate to admit it, but it's an unfortunate reality. Jerry McDivitt and Vince McMahon are essentially an unstoppable duo. So at the end of the day, there's only one thing that is going to drive Vince McMahon out of the WWE, and that is the angel of death. And we don't know when that's going to happen. At this rate, Vince McMahon could very well outlive me, and I'm 23 years old. Nothing is going to change. You don't believe me? Just look at the show that we got last night for SmackDown and how fucking terrible that show was. Just look at how fucking terrible that show was. And then you tell me that Stephanie McMahon is now in charge. And especially after that promo that Vince McMahon cut, coming out there saying, then, now, forever together. That was a legit shoot. That was Vince McMahon saying, fuck you to the fans. I'm not going anywhere. That was Vince McMahon saying that it will always be him running the company. And he has no fucking shame for what he did. None. Absolutely none. And let me just say this. Even if Vince were to step away, even if Vince were to temporarily step away, he's got Nick Khan, he's got Bruce Pritchard, he's got Ed Kodsky, he's got fucking Kevin Dunn, he's got 3, 4, 5, 6, however many mini-me's behind him. All of those individuals that I just named, plus some, are essentially mini-me's of Vince McMahon. They're not going to change his vision. All they do is motorboat his 76-year-old nutsack all day long. They're not going to change anything. Vince McMahon and his vision will never die. Unfortunately, I've given up on this company. Nothing is going to take Vince out except for the angel of death. And even if Vince McMahon is inevitably removed, there are still 4, 5, 6 other people underneath McMahon that are operating in the same exact wavelength as he is. In order for WWE to truly change, everyone that is directly associated with Vince and does nothing but blow on his fucking asshole and lick his gooch all day, all of those individuals need to be gone. Vince, Bruce, Ed Kotsky, Johnny People Power, Johnny 5 Packs of Cigarettes, whatever you fucking want to call him, White Castle Pritchard, Nick Khan, everybody. Every one of those individuals need to be gone. And that's never going to happen. Unfortunately, it is never going to happen. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they are nothing more than poster children for Vince McMahon. At the end of it all, Vince is running the company while everyone else is nothing more than mainstream media puppets. They are all nothing more than mainstream media models that Vince is going to shove out there in the public while everyone wants to think that they're running the company, when in reality, it's Vince McMahon sitting on his fucking diamond-encrusted toilet in his $7 billion mansion running the company while he takes a shit off a fucking cell phone. That's what it is. There's absolutely nothing more to say in relations to this. The WWE is never going to improve. Vince McMahon is not going to be taken out. Vince McMahon will never step away. Stephanie is not in charge. And based off of everything that we got last night on SmackDown, at the end of the day, Vince McMahon will run the WWE then, now, forever. And they're all in this together. And we all have to suffer through Vince McMahon's reign of terror together. No wonder why so many people have stopped watching the product. Those are the news, rumors, and reports that I ranted on for about an hour. We are at 14 likes. Earl Cole is in the chat. And yes, I will be back on the Wrestling Experience in August. So shout out to Mr. Earl Cole. Shout out to DJ Sums and Lisa Warlow who's in the chat. We've been rocking and rolling for a little bit now, but in order for us to continue rocking and rolling, I'm going to need y'all to do me some favors. What I need y'all to do is I need y'all to hit the like button if you haven't already done so. And I also need y'all to share the stream. Share the stream out on all platforms of social media so that way we can get as many people in here as possible. We got 11 people rocking and rolling in the chat. I think we can get more in here. Let's see how many people we can get in here. Continue to share it out and continue to tell everyone DJ Storms is live on YouTube. 15 likes, actually. You guys are absolute beasts. 15 likes. Keep it coming, people. Keep it coming. We're going to get into the weekly show reviews. Let's talk about the weekly show reviews. Monday Night Raw was absolutely fucking terrible in every sense of the word. You had the fucking Miz kick off the show. Miz TV with Paul Heyman. Don't know why we needed this. It meant absolutely nothing in the end. And the Miz makes the show worse. Paul Heyman did his usual shtick. They talked about Money in the Bank, the typical material. Miz then talked about winning Money in the Bank and cashing it in twice. Heyman said the chances of them successfully cashing in on Roman Reigns is 0. Matt Riddle then interrupted. He came out on his scooter. He said, I wanted to come out here and hear this straight from the horse's ass. So Miz obviously stood up for Heyman, even though they're not really together, but Vince realizes, hey, Miz is a heel, Paul Heyman's a heel, so let's have them both stand up for each other because, hey, they're both heels. The heels stand up for the heels. The baby faces stand up for the baby faces. So Riddle then asked Miz how his balls were, and then he turned to Heyman and he said, you don't know me and you don't know what I'm capable of, but Roman's going to have to kill me to stop me from taking that undisputed Universal Championship, bro. So from there, Heyman said, I do respect you, but you can't beat Roman Reigns. And if you beat Roman, you will be the new WWE Universal Champion. But if you lose, as long as Roman Reigns is champion, you will never get another shot at the title again. So we brought out the Usos, the Street Profits then followed suit. And then we go to commercial, and then we get into a match with Jimmy Uso and Montez Ford. Why? Because that's what we do. That's what we do. With the tag teams, it's always singles competition because they don't have no fucking tag team division to actually build up some competitive tag team matches. Lazy, lazy, and lazy. Who gives a fuck? Now, the match itself was a solid match, I will say that. But again, it's just fucking lazy. The one thing I will say, though, is that Jimmy Uso actually got the victory. So the champions did not get pinned in a non-title match. I'm happy about that because they suffer that way too often. And the Usos are made to look like nothing more than secondary acts, nothing more than bodyguards for Roman Reigns, yet they are the tag team champions. So Ford was using his quickness against Jimmy Uso. Jimmy came back with a punch right to the face. Jimmy with a very nice snap suplex on the apron to Montez Ford. Coming back from commercial, Ford then came back with a series of kicks. Kick by Jimmy Uso, enziguri by Ford for a 2. Ford with a nice spine buster. That got a 2 count. Jimmy Uso with a pop-up Samoan drop. Ford with a kick. Uso then sent Ford back first into the post. Ford then with a very sloppy-looking Frankensteiner, but it was a Frankensteiner nonetheless. And then he went for the frog splash, but Jimmy got the knees up. Jimmy got the knees up and rolled up Ford for the 1, 2, 3 victory. Solid match. Probably one of the better things on Monday Night Raw this week. And the Usos do not take the pin. Good. Good. So we got this match happening at Money in the Bank. And that was pretty much that. Seth Rollins one of the best acts on Monday Night Raw, and a man who I do believe is winning Money in the Bank. Seth Rollins was interviewed by Kevin Patrick. Rollins says that he meant what he said to Cody, but he said that Cody Rhodes is a virus. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions. You have to think and take matters into your own hands, he said. Cody was a danger to himself. It's adapt or perish. I have no remorse, and I take pride in what I was able to accomplish. The American Nightmare is over, and Monday Night Rollins is back. He actually wanted to top his original Money in the Bank cash-in. He said that AJ Styles is not on my level, and if he wants to stand in my way, I'll have to do to him exactly what I did to Cody. This was an excellent promo. Styles then came in out of nowhere, punched the shit out of Rollins, and he goes, that one was for Cody. This was an excellent promo. Really did a very good job at selling the Money in the Bank qualifying match later on. So we had another Becky Lynch and Dana Brooke 24/7 title segment. The match actually never got underway. Becky attacked Dana Brooke before the match. She then took the mic and she said that she has a lot of anger and rage. So you can keep your little 24/7 title, Dana, but the disrespect that I've been shown after I forged a path of greatness, it is absolutely unacceptable, she said. Last time I was in a Money in the Bank ladder match, I was cheated, but not this time. Asuka then came out, and we got a big brawl, some quick strikes and kicks combination by Asuka, and then a big German suplex, and Asuka stood tall. Next week, we got a Money in the Bank qualifying match with Asuka and Becky Lynch. I almost said at Money in the Bank. No, a Money in the Bank qualifying match with Becky Lynch. Alexa Bliss, who I can't fucking stand, and Liv Morgan, they took on Nikki Trash and Doudrop. This was a tag team Money in the Bank qualifying match. I mean, what do you think happened? Alexa Bliss, of course she was going to advance. Of course they were going to save this spot for Alexa Bliss. Did you expect anything different? I didn't. Of course they were going to save a spot for Alexa Bliss. I mean, are you new here? Are you fucking new here? Really? Are you fucking new here? Bliss and Morgan, they won. Bliss pinned Nikki with a DDT. Realistically, Morgan should be the one to win Money in the Bank. But it's either going to be Becky or it's going to be Alexa Bliss, unfortunately. Why? Because that's what they do. That's what they do. At the end of the fucking day, it is nothing more than the fucking same. It's nothing more than the same. They rely on the same fucking people over and over and over again. It's either Becky, it's either Bliss, it's either Charlotte, or Ronda. Same shit, different day. Morgan is merely there by default. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel. Don't know why this is continuing, but here we are. So Owens came right out of the gate. He tried to do the same deal that Ezekiel did at the beginning of their match at Hell in a Cell. Owens with a super kick and a swanton bomb for a 2 right out of the gate. Owens took the fight to Ezekiel. Ezekiel then with a spine buster for a 2. Owens, this was actually a decent spot in the match. Owens was delivered a DVD. He got a Death Valley driver done to him on the steel steps, but the steel steps were not on its side. It was not the bottom of the steel steps. It was the top of the steel steps. So he caught legitimately the edge of the steps right into his fucking spine. That looked fucking nasty. So props to Owens for taking that spot. Coming back from commercial, Owens was then down. Ezekiel tried to mount the comeback with a couple of lariats and a modified fallaway suplex slam. He had a stinger splash and a leaping knee. Owens fell to the floor. Ezekiel then went headfirst into the post. Owens, like a fucking retard, then got pissed at the commentators because they were calling Ezekiel, and Owens was saying, no, he's Elias. He lost control, and he ended up losing via countout. Ezekiel won via countout. He then took the mic and he said that his older brother Elias is coming back to Raw for a special concert, and he's going to remind everyone that WWE stands for Walk with Elias. This program with Ezekiel has made Kevin Owens look like a fucking idiot. Not because he's wrong. Not because he's wrong about Ezekiel being Elias. I don't think anyone has even acknowledged this. I have not seen anyone acknowledge this in the community. Not one. This storyline has made Owens look like a fucking idiot because Owens, this is a grown man. Owens is approaching 40. I believe he's in his late 30s. Kevin Owens is obsessing over the identity. This is a grown man obsessing over the true identity of another grown man. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens has all the talent in the world to win world titles. Has anyone brought that to light? Owens is obsessing over the identity of a grown fucking man. Is it really that important? What the fuck does Owens gain from this? Owens looks like a fucking retard from this storyline, obsessing over a fucking identity crisis between Ezekiel or Elias or whatever the fuck his name is, so much so that he's arguing with the fucking commentators over who he's wrestling, whether it's Ezekiel, no, it's Elias, it's Ezekiel, no, it's Elias. It's a grown fucking man obsessing over another man's identity. Meanwhile, this guy should have been a world champion 7 times over already. There's no reason why Kevin Owens can't be in the same league as Roman Reigns. And here he is doing cheesy mid-card comedy. Get this shit over with. Owens needs to get away from this Ezekiel shit. We need to develop some actual fucking character for Ezekiel, and Owens needs to be a baby face. Owens needs to be a baby face. His time as a heel it's overstayed its shelf life. Really has. Shit is absolutely ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. I have never seen a storyline so fucking stupid. What is the end goal? What does Owens gain from this? What does he gain? So what? Ezekiel is Elias. Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. I could not give a single fuck who he is. I want Kevin Owens to be at the top of the card, winning world titles, not feuding over who he's fucking wrestling over. It's Ezekiel. Oh, it's Elias. It's Ezekiel. Oh, it's Elias. Who gives a fuck? End it. End it. Cedric Alexander versus MVP. What do we expect here? MVP won with the playmaker. Who cares? Cedric is as good as gone. I'm waiting for that release to come. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. Easily the best thing on the show. This was an excellent match. So the fight started right out of the gate. Rollins with a huge suicide dive, sending Styles over the announce table. Coming back from commercial, Styles with a phenomenal blitz, sliding elbow and a back suplex facebuster for a 2. We had a stinger splash by Styles, super kick by Rollins for a 2. Styles with the calf crusher. Rollins then bounced Styles' head off the mat. Styles did not let go, and then Rollins inevitably got to the bottom rope. Rollins hit an enziguri, Pele kick by Styles. Both men are down. Rollins with a rolling elbow. He went for a buckle bomb. Styles delivered a suplex into the turnbuckle. Rollins then kicked out. We had a phenomenal forearm. He missed the phenomenal forearm to Styles. Rollins hit a chop block. Styles hit an Ushi-Goroshi for a close 2 count. Styles went up to the top. Rollins cut him off. He hit a buckle bomb, went for the frog splash, but he missed. Styles then went for the Styles Clash, and then Rollins rolled up Styles with a sunset flip to get the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Excellent match. Excellent match overall, and Seth Rollins absolutely would be the guy to win Money in the Bank. And if I'm booking this, I'm absolutely giving Seth Rollins the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Easily. Matt Riddle. He took on Ciampa. This was absolutely criminal of WWE. Ciampa is nothing more than a fucking jobber. How you have Tommaso Ciampa on your roster, and this is the most that you have for him. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch, she got more time than this entire fucking match. Why exactly is Becky Lynch, who is absolutely one of the worst characters in the division right now, why is she getting more time than Matt Riddle and Ciampa, who easily could have had match of the fucking night right here? Fucking stupid. Regardless, this was a decent little match right here. Ciampa actually got a lot of offense in this match. Running knee, a swift DDT. Matt Riddle came back with a floating bro and an RKO for the win. 1, 2, 3. Obviously nothing more than to hype up his match with Roman on SmackDown. Regardless, I will say that this was a decent little match. But again, it's absolutely fucking criminal that we have to be subjected to Tommaso Ciampa being nothing more than a glorified fucking enhancement talent. Pathetic. Bianca Belair was interviewed about her Money in the Bank match with Rhea Ripley. She said that she's prepared for anything and that they are on the front line of a new generation of women. But I don't recognize this new Rhea Ripley. She's soulless, and I am not the one to be intimidated. Rhea Ripley and Judgment Day then came up on the screen. Finn called themselves sick of playing nice. We knocked Edge off of his pedestal. Damian Priest said Edge sealed his own fate. No. You see, WWE sealed your own fate. WWE sealed your own fate because at the end of the fucking day, you were going to be taken to the next level because of Edge. And that didn't happen. Why? Because WWE would not allow Edge to. Whoever wrote this promo for Judgment Day clearly is mocking them right in front of our eyes. So Priest went on and on about how Edge sealed his own fate. Rhea Ripley said, you care about what everyone thinks, but if you stop, you'd actually stand a chance of retaining your title. Bianca at Money in the Bank, the greatest thing will be your downfall, and I become a 2-time Raw Women's Champion. Should be a decent match, but at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley is nothing more than a bridge for Bianca Belair to get to Becky Lynch, and I fucking hate that. I hate that. Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable. More of these two. Please, more of these two, less of The Miz. You know, I actually had people trying to defend The Miz. Oh, he's entertaining. Really, he's entertaining. You enjoy The Miz, who has been showcased more in his underwear than he has ever been in a serious fucking role in the last God knows how many years. You're okay with the fucking Miz cutting a Miz TV segment every fucking week, saying the same shit, rather than seeing Ali and Gable, who could absolutely out-wrestle anyone on that fucking roster. You're okay with seeing the Miz over these two? Holy fuck, you are absolutely retarded. If you like them, go ahead. But if you like them, I'm just letting you know, you enjoy garbage. The Miz is garbage, and that is a fucking fact. You don't like it? Again, you can suck my Italian balls. More of these two, less of The Miz, please. These two only went 3 minutes. Don't know how, don't know why, but they went 3 minutes. Gable won with the O'Connor Roll German suplex. Veer Mahan versus Rey Mysterio. Veer completely destroyed Rey Mysterio, squashed him in 4 minutes, and he actually sent Dominic over the barricade as well. Let's move Veer on. I think we need to move Veer on from the Mysterios. We really do. The main event was a fucking pose down. Yes, you did not hear me stutter. It was a fucking pose down with Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. They did 3 poses. Double bicep, they did side chest, and they did most muscular. Clearly, Bobby Lashley outshined Austin Theory. And Austin Theory, like the sore loser heel that he is, he sprayed baby oil in Lashley's eyes, which was really water. And then he delivered a drop kick to him. And that was it. So obviously we're going to get this match at Money in the Bank. And Bobby Lashley is being used as nothing more than an enhancement talent for Mr. Austin Theory. Before Austin Theory inevitably gets to John Cena and he defeats John Cena at SummerSlam. That was Monday Night Raw. Absolutely fucking sucked. Absolutely sucked. Terrible fucking show. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show. We've been rocking and rolling since a little bit before 1 p.m. We got 17 likes so far. You guys have been awesome since the word go. But I think that we could even do better than what we are already doing. So, people, if you have not shared out the stream, please make sure you are sharing out the stream on all platforms of social media, because we got a lot more to talk about, including we got AEW Dynamite Road Rager. We got AEW Dynamite Road Rager, which was a phenomenal fucking show. An absolutely phenomenal fucking show. And it is going to be a fun time talking about it, that's for sure. Because AEW right now is doing the absolute best work that they've ever fucking done. Really good stuff right here. But you guys have been great since the word go. Thank you to DJ Sums. Thank you to Lisa. Thank you to Dee Dee. Thank you to Earl. And thank you to everyone that has stopped by in the chat since the beginning of the stream. We got plenty more to get into. Keep on sharing the stream out. Keep on getting everyone in here as possible. So, let's talk about Dynamite Road Rager. So, Chris Jericho and Ortiz. This was a hair versus hair match. This started off the show, and they started off hot right out of the gate. This was a really, really good match. Great match, actually. Ortiz, very underrated in the ring. So this started out right out of the gate. Ortiz was in control early on. Ortiz actually blocked a Hurricane Rana into a powerbomb off the middle rope. Jericho then took over with a suplex off the apron to the floor. Coming back from commercial, Ortiz with a big lariat. Ortiz then with a hanging cutter off the top rope. That got a 2 count. We had a DDT in the middle of the ring for a 2. Jericho then with a code breaker for a 2 count. Jericho then locked in the walls of Jericho. Ortiz then got to the ropes. The Jericho Appreciation Society then attacked Eddie Kingston. And then all of a sudden we had Wheeler Yuta and Santana coming out to help. Wheeler Yuta and Santana came out to help. And then all of a sudden, we had Eddie Kingston behind Aubrey Edwards' back, hit a spinning back fist on Jericho. Awesome spot. Ortiz covered Jericho. Jericho just kicked out. This was awesome right here. Aubrey was distracted again. All of a sudden, Fuego del Sol comes out of nowhere and hits Ortiz with a bat, and Jericho pins Ortiz to win. After the match, Fuego del Sol was unmasked to be who? But Sammy Guevara. And Sammy Guevara is now back with Jericho, and him and Ty Conti are now a part of the JAS. And this is a great move. This is a great move for both him and Ty Conti, because Jericho is going to take them back to where they need to be after Sammy fucked up his momentum, after Jericho let him go into the wilderness that is AEW alone. But I'm very, very, very happy that Sammy and Jericho are back together. Sammy and Jericho are great. Les Sex Gods is great. Afterwards, Ortiz, like a fucking badass, this was actually great. Ortiz, like a badass, cut his own hair with the razor, and he was screaming blood and guts, blood and guts, blood and guts. So Ortiz will now join Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston inside Blood and Guts. Great stuff. Wardlow took on 20 plaintiffs in a handicap elimination match. Wardlow actually got new theme music, so shout out to Warlow there for getting new theme music. This was very academic. This was just Wardlow destroying 20 guys, one after the other. He was pinning guys left and right, and that was pretty much it. This was nothing more than to just get the Mark Sterling stuff over with. He was in, he was out. And then Dan Lambert and Scorpio Sky, they cut a promo on Wardlow from a skybox. Wardlow was then face-to-face with some UFC fighters from American Top Team. Wardlow then took the mic. He said, "No, I think you two are smarter than to take orders from some rich assholes up in a skybox." So one of them got Mark Sterling, and he sent him right into Wardlow, and he powerbombed Mark Sterling, and that was pretty much it. Really nothing of note. He was in, he was out, and at the end of it all, we are going to get Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky. The question here that I'm having is, when do we get Wardlow and Scorpio Sky? Do we get it at the Blood and Guts show? Do we get it at Fyter Fest? Do we get it at Battle of the Belts? Do we wait till All Out? Me personally, I'd wait till All Out. Have this be a slow build. Give Wardlow some actual people, some more people to fight before he inevitably fights Scorpio Sky. But at the end of the day, I do believe that Wardlow will inevitably be the new TNT champion, and that's going to be a great role for him. Wardlow is exactly the type of guy who's going to regain prestige to that TNT championship after the entire Sammy Guevara, Scorpio Sky debacle. But I'm very happy for Wardlow, and I do think he's going to be a great TNT champion when he inevitably gets that title. I would personally wait until All Out to do it. Have it be a slow build. Maybe, if you want to, you could have American Top Team actually take out Wardlow for a few weeks. Have Wardlow off of television for a few weeks. Have Scorpio Sky come out here and brag that he was the one to take out Wardlow. And then, boom, we can start it up running again. Wardlow takes a few weeks vacation, and then he comes back, and boom, big pop, and Scorpio Sky and Wardlow are in a position where they're going to fight at All Out. Simple. But I would wait till All Out. Dax Harwood and Will Ospreay. Man. This was fucking excellent. This was excellent. This was fucking awesome. Absolutely fucking awesome. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're not a fan of Will Ospreay, you're not a fan of pro wrestling. If you are not a fan of pro wrestling, then you're not a fan of Will Ospreay. Works both ways. Will Ospreay is pro wrestling. Will Ospreay is one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, and I absolutely love this match. Dax Harwood, let me tell you something. I would pick Adam Hangman Page. That's me personally, but holy shit. Dax Harwood is really making a strong case of why he should be heralded as the wrestler of the year. He's putting on fucking bangers at every single chance that he gets. Holy shit. This was excellent. So we had Harwood getting tripped up right out of the gate. He landed on his knee, looked a little nasty. We then had Ospreay coming in with a drop kick into the steps. Coming back from commercial, Dax then with a huge German suplex barrage. We had a very, very, very nice combination by Harwood. He missed the diving headbutt. Will Ospreay came in with a beautiful springboard 450 splash for 2. Harwood then with a chop barrage, a beautiful crossbody counter by Ospreay off the back superplex. That got a 2. We had a jackknife cover by Harwood for 2. Slingshot Pescado, and then a flying forearm right to the back of the head off the top by Will Ospreay. Awesome sequence. Strike after strike. Big lariat by Dax. We had a reversal by Ospreay into a Liger bomb for a 2. This was beautiful. Ospreay was on Dax's shoulders in an electric chair position. Dax spun him around into a slingshot Liger bomb off the ropes. It looked fucking gorgeous. Ospreay then with a beautiful Oz cutter. That got a 2 count. Then we have this running back elbow, which he calls the hidden blade. I'm really not too keen on his finisher, but man, it looks fucking brutal. Elbow right to the fucking back of the head. It looks nice. It looks nice. I will say that. Afterwards, Ospreay hit the hidden blade, and then he won. He won the match. 1, 2, 3. And Will Ospreay gets the victory over Dax Harwood. Afterwards, United Empire came out. Cash then came in for the save. And we got a big brawl. All of a sudden, Orange Cassidy is back. Orange Cassidy is back. And he stood face to face with Will Ospreay. And it was made official. At Forbidden Door, it's going to be Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States Championship, and it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Can't wait for it. Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi, they had their face-to-face segment. They got right in each other's faces, and the crowd actually started chanting, "Holy shit." Now, this looks good. This I'm very much looking forward to right here. So Moxley then said, "I've been chasing you for a long, long time. And finally, here you are. I chased you across the Pacific. And I've always been fascinated with you. I've always been after you. There's only one man that they call Ace. And that's you. But not for long. Because it is a fact that I am the best professional wrestler on the planet. I live for it. Everything I work for is all on the line. And I play for keeps. And when the dust settles, you will call me Ace." So then all of a sudden, Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti interrupted. Jericho said, "This is my spot. And you don't deserve it. You need to step down. And if you don't step down, I'm going to burn your face with a fireball because I'm a wizard." I love Chris Jericho. I think I need a fucking... If he has this fucking t-shirt, someone guide me to the fucking Chris Jericho t-shirt that says I'm a wizard. Please. Please. So, Tanahashi told Jericho to shut up. The Jericho Appreciation Society... And then Lance Archer and Desperado came out to attack both men. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, they made out, obviously. Jericho then announced that at Forbidden Door, it's going to be Minoru Suzuki, Sammy Guevara, and Chris Jericho taking on Shota Umino, Wheeler Yuta, and Eddie Kingston at Forbidden Door before we get to the Blood and Guts match on June 29th. Now, that should be a damn good fucking 6-person tag team match. And then afterwards, Moxley and Tanahashi were left in the ring. They stood face to face, and we inevitably saw those two in a nice stare down to start the segment and a nice stare down to end the segment. And I personally feel they could very well steal the fucking show. It's going to be a damn good fucking match. It's going to be a damn good fucking match. And next week, we actually got a tag team match. It's going to be Tanahashi and Moxley versus Jericho and Archer. That should be fun. Should be very fun. Ethan Page and Miro. This is an All-Atlantic Championship qualifying match. I would say this was a pretty decent match right here. Nothing too crazy. Pretty solid match with Page and Miro. Page was playing a little cat and mouse with Miro. Miro came back with a huge lariat. Page was then sent shoulder first into the post. Coming back from commercial, Miro with some sledgehammer blows to Ethan Page's chest. We then had Page sending Miro into the steps shoulder first. Page with a flying shoulder tackle off the middle rope. That only got a 1 count. Page then with a very nice slingshot cutter off of the bottom rope. That got a 2 count. Miro then grabbed Page and he tossed him across the ring. Big corner avalanche and then a spinning leg lariat. Lambert got up on the ring. He punched down Lambert. Miro with a super kick. Then he locked in the game over. Locked them in. And Miro ended up tapping out Ethan Page. Miro ended up tapping out Ethan Page, and Miro was going to Forbidden Door, so we got Pac, we got Miro. I think we're going to get Malachi, and I think we're going to get Tomohiro Ishii. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going with Malachi to win that match and become the All-Atlantic champion, but if I am booking this match, I am booking a very nice back and forth with Ishii and Miro. I think that if you want to do a one-on-one match with Miro for the time being, I would absolutely do Miro versus Tomohiro Ishii. That right there would be a great feud heading into All Out. That's a great position for Miro to be in. Toni Storm and Britt Baker. Pretty decent little match right here. And Britt Baker and Toni Storm, they worked very well together. We had Britt and Toni Storm taking the fight to each other right out of the gate. We had a diving crossbody for a 2. Thunder Rosa then came out to even the odds. Coming back from commercial, Storm with a swinging DDT on the floor. And then a big German suplex by Storm. Baker, then, this was a great spot by Baker. This is probably one of my favorite spots of the entire week. Baker caught this hip attack, and it looked like she legitimately got knocked out. So what we had here, Baker was playing possum as if she was legitimately concussed. She was holding her head. She was acting all loopy. She absolutely fooled us all. I thought she was legit hurt. She fooled us all. And what did we get? We got Britt Baker playing possum, and we had Britt Baker rolling up Toni Storm for a very close 2 count. This was great. We then had a spinning neck breaker for a 2. Storm then with a German suplex and a Storm Zero pile driver for the win. And at Forbidden Door, we got Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa, and it is going to be a great fucking match. I'm very much looking forward to that match. That's going to be great. That's going to be great. Hangman Adam Page. We're unloading a bit of the cowboy shit. Hangman Adam Page came out to address the crowd. He goes, I said I wanted a match with Kazuchika Okada, and I wanted the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, but I didn't take into account that he still might not be the champion. But the settlement has not changed. Cole, Adam Cole that is, then came out, and he said Page will not be challenging for the title. Forbidden Door is about the Undisputed Elite. It's about the Bullet Club. Then he invited Jay White to come on out and introduce himself to Adam Page. All of a sudden, Jay White comes up from behind Adam Page, delivers the Blade Runner, and then he takes the microphone and he goes, I am the catalyst of professional wrestling, and I am the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. You couldn't beat CM Punk. You lost your AEW World Championship. Our singles record, 2-0 to the Switchblade. I'm not putting my title on the line against you, but it ain't going to be against you either, Adam Cole. The world bleeds with the Switchblade because this is the Switchblade era. I'm calling it right now. I think we're getting a Fatal 4-Way. I think we're going to get White, Page, Cole, and Okada. Fatal 4-Way for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. That is going to be a phenomenal fucking match. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's exactly what I'm looking at. And I think that's going to be fucking awesome. That's going to be awesome. Main event. It was the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. It's a ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was a fantastic fucking ladder match from start to finish. Awesome stuff. Went about 16 minutes. And the Young Bucks take the win here. And the Young Bucks are the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. I wasn't really too keen on them winning, but looking back at it, looking back at the reign that we had with Jurassic Express and how good that their reign was, and on top of that, the heel turn by Christian Cage, I can't really say I'm disappointed in this at all, because this right here is picture fucking perfect for Christian Cage. This is great for Jungle Boy. We could very well see Jungle Boy and Christian Cage at All Out. That's what I'm looking at. It's exactly what I'm looking at. So the Bucks and Jurassic Express, they started the fight right out of the gate. Luchasaurus brought in a ladder. He got it drop-kicked right into him. Jungle Boy then with a beautiful Hurricane Rana to Nick Jackson off the ladder. We had some assisted double team moves, a sidewalk slam elbow drop. Jungle Boy then with a tightrope ladder walk into a crossbody on the Young Bucks. Really good stuff right there. We had a locomotion Northern Lights suplex into the ladder to Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy then with a Hurricane Rana off of the apron to Matt Jackson through a table. Nick Jackson then powerbombed Jungle Boy through a fucking table. And then Luchasaurus was then draped on the fucking table. And then I believe it was Nick Jackson, after he had a Canadian Destroyer and a PK, Nick Jackson with a fucking 450 off the top through a table. So table breaks galore. This was great. Table breakage galore. Coming back, we had a double super kick countering a moonsault by Jungle Boy. So the Bucks were in control. Luchasaurus then came in. He choke slammed Nick onto a ladder. And then a moonsault onto the Bucks on the floor. Matt Jackson then jumped on Luchasaurus' back. He tried to climb the ladder with Matt Jackson on his back. We had a 4-man face-off on the ladders. Luchasaurus got powerbombed onto the ladder. We had a Poison Rana on Jungle Boy. Looked brutal. Elbow drop by Matt threw Luchasaurus through the table on the floor. We had a German suplex to Nick Jackson. Jungle Boy and Matt Jackson, they climbed. Jungle Boy then stopped them. Nick climbed. Matt climbed. We had a BTE trigger reversal, and all 3 men crashed down to the floor. Luchasaurus then came in, and the Bucks, this was fucking crazy. This brought me back. If you guys remember, it was One Night Stand 2008, which, by the way, Rev Theory's theme song, Hell Yeah, which is my favorite song ever. That is my favorite song of all time. Rev Theory's Hell Yeah was the official theme song for WWE One Night Stand 2008. If you remember WWE One Night Stand 2008, it was Edge, Undertaker, TLC, and The Undertaker got pushed off of the ladder through 4 tables. This was exactly what we saw. Off the ladder, through 4 tables, went Luchasaurus. This was a great fucking spot. Awesome. All of a sudden, we had a BTE trigger on Jungle Boy, and then the Bucks unhooked the titles to win the titles, and the Bucks are the first ever AEW 2-time tag team champions. Really, really good stuff. Fantastic match. And you know what? I don't even have a problem with the Bucks winning again. Matter of fact, I think the Bucks are going to do great things as 2-time tag team champions. Maybe we could see a match with Red Dragon, Proud and Powerful. We could see Swerve and Lee. I would love to see Swerve and Lee. I would personally love to see Swerve and Lee. Christian Cage then came out to help Jungle Boy. All of a sudden, he pulled him back into the kill switch. And then he gave Jungle Boy a concerto. And if you guys saw after the show was over, we saw a video of Jurassic Express. They're down. Christian went up to Jungle Boy's mother and sister and said to his mother, "You raised a piece of shit." Heel Christian Cage, this is going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. Dynamite was awesome. Dynamite was awesome like it usually is. I greatly appreciate everyone who's sticking around. We only got 4 people watching, but it's a good 4 people, I would say. We are exactly 2 likes away from 20, and we are approaching 2 hours. We got 2 more shows to go over, and then I'm going to be getting on out of here. So if you guys want to help me reach that goal, let's get to 20, baby. Let us get to 20 likes. Come on, baby. Come on, it's vital. 20 likes, baby. 20 likes. 20 likes. Let's talk about SmackDown and how fucking terrible SmackDown was. Vince McMahon kicked off the show. Vince McMahon kicked off the show. He said that he was happy to be in Minnesota, and the Minnesota crowd were actually cheering for him. Goes to show you how fucking retarded people are, how fucking two-faced people are. And then people want to wonder why I don't respect anybody. People want to wonder. So Vince McMahon with an absolutely disgusting appearance right here. No shame, no fear, no remorse. He just says, I want everyone to remember the phrase at the beginning. We got then, now, and forever. Welcome to SmackDown. No substance at all, and that was it. If Vince wasn't going to say anything of note, then at the end of the fucking day, he shouldn't have even made an appearance. People backstage, according to Fightful, were confused and enraged at what happened. Of course Vince McMahon's going to no-sell it. You know why? Because like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, Vince McMahon is essentially God. With Jerry McDivitt by his side, Vince McMahon is essentially untouchable, unfortunately. We are not going to get anything of substance whatsoever. We will not see Vince McMahon step down, and there's going to be no change made whatsoever until Vince McMahon is dead. And then, of course, we got all of the cronies that Vince McMahon has until they're all fired. That's it. That's it. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Riddle came out. He played a hype package highlighting the history between Riddle and Roman. He says he's been waiting a long time for this opportunity. He knows that Randy is watching at home. Crowd chanted for Randy. And then we had Matt Riddle saying that he misses Randy and that he loves Randy. He ran down Randy Orton's accomplishments, and he started a thank you, Randy chant. He then played Randy Orton's theme song to end the segment, and we had a very good promo right here by Matt Riddle as Matt Riddle continues to showcase to everyone why he is a top-tier guy. Really does. Matt Riddle, let me tell you something. Matt Riddle, he is by far, an absolute stud in the ring. And Matt Riddle should absolutely be a world champion within the next couple years. If he's not, WWE is clearly doing something wrong. There is absolutely no reason why Matt Riddle, after the performances that he's been giving, why he shouldn't be in a world title capacity. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. This was a very good promo, and I very much enjoy the fact that Riddle has been taking on more of a serious tone. I really do. So from that very good promo, after that completely pathetic appearance by Vince McMahon, which, by the way, I'm gonna call this right down the middle. Vince McMahon merely appeared on SmackDown because Vince was worried that because of the allegations, people were going to stop watching and a few people were going to cause the ratings to go down. We were going to see a few people not watch the show because people are going to say, hey, why am I fucking supporting a company which is run by a perverted fucking freak? So at the end of the fucking day, Vince McMahon did what he did specifically out of a ratings desperation capacity. It was nothing more than a scenario where Vince McMahon was absolutely paranoid that because of what was going on with the allegations, that some people were going to say, fuck this, I am not watching this show if it's run by a perverted fucking freak that cheated on his wife and paid someone not to say anything disparaging about him. I'm not going to do this. So at the end of the day, Vince did what he did in order to spike up ratings so that way the ratings would not go down. It was a cheap ratings ploy. Simple as that. Matt Riddle, obviously, he had his good promo. Then we go into Madcap Moss versus Happy Corbin. It was a last laugh match, which, by the way, it's just a normal match, and the loser was to get laughed out of the building. So at the end of the fucking day, this was pretty much a meaningless fucking match. So, Madcap Moss, I will say this. Madcap Moss is very good, And this was probably a match that a lot of people looked at for Madcap Moss as a breakout performance, specifically in WWE. But then again, how can we really have a breakout performance against a guy like Happy fucking Corbin of all people? But either way, Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin had a decent little match right here. So the match started out quick. Madcap Moss with a diving shoulder tackle. He laid in right hands to Corbin. Moss with a nice shoulder tackle and a fall-away slam. Madcap Moss is very impressive. Really, he is. So Corbin sent Moss into the post, and then he clotheslined him over the barricade into the timekeeper's area. Coming back from commercial, Corbin with a deep six. He hit a choke slam. They brawled on the outside. Both men beat the count into the ring because they teased, both getting counted out 9, 10. No, he beat the 10 count. All of a sudden, Madcap Moss hit the punchline. And then he hit a second punchline. And then Madcap Moss pinned Corbin 1, 2, 3. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. And we saw Madcap Moss defeat Corbin for a third and final time. So at the end of this all, this was not bad, but it was just a way to get Madcap Moss even more over. I do think Madcap Moss has a lot of potential. Madcap Moss has a lot of potential within him, and I do believe that at the end of the day, Madcap Moss could abso-fucking-lutely be a solid hand in the division. What division it may be, I don't know. But I would absolutely put him against some bigger stars. I'd love to see him against a guy like Nakamura, maybe a guy like Ricochet, maybe a guy like Sami Zayn, maybe a guy like Gunther once he's ready for a guy like Gunther. I would abso-fucking-lutely build him up as a top-tier solid mid-card act. And if they do, I think he definitely has a chance to work his way up to the main event scene. He's got a great look. He's very good in the ring. He's very good on the microphone. I think he's got a lot of potential. Plus, you need new stars. You fucking need new stars. So why not push someone like a Madcap Moss? They just got to change up the name. I want to see Madcap Moss succeed. Let's see what else he can do. So after this, Corbin then took the mic and he called out Pat McAfee for mocking him. Oh, the poor Corbin, the poor baby. He's mad because Pat McAfee's making fun of him. He called him bum ass Corbin. He's calling the happy nerds. Oh my God, no, Pat McAfee's making fun of me. You serious? Are you for real right now? You're booking Corbin to sound like a fucking high school nerd who's mad because the older kids are bullying him. It's fucking stupid. Seriously. He goes, McAfee, you should watch your mouth or I'm going to drag your skinny ass into that ring and make you wish you were dead. McAfee then took the mic and he called him bum-ass Corbin, and then he got the crowd to laugh Corbin out of the arena. Will you help me laugh this jabroni out of Minneapolis? And that's exactly what happened. So Corbin got laughed out of the arena, and I find this absolutely fucking pathetic that WWE, they have no fucking roster, and they're so fucking desperate for interest in their shit product with all these top guys out with injury that they call on Pat McAfee, and just like every other fucking superstar, one of Pat McAfee's first feuds is Baron Corbin. Man, you want to talk about getting people to not care about Pat McAfee, go and put him against Corbin. Now, I think they could have a decent match, but at the end of the day, it ultimately means nothing. Pat McAfee is merely there. He's going to get put on SummerSlam, and he's probably going to beat Corbin. And that's that. New Day versus Jinder Mahal and Shanky, the sky-scraping Shanky, which, by the way, he's got this new dancing gimmick, and he has unintentionally become the best thing about WWE's Jinder Mahal act. Jinder Mahal, his best act has become Shanky dancing. So apparently, he's become Ice Shanky. So Shanky dancing as per usual. I don't know where the fuck this is going, but Shanky dancing. Shanky, this was actually a great spot right here. Shanky chopped the ever-living shit out of Kofi Kingston. It was an Andrade-esque chop. You know how Andrade does that overhand chop right to the chest? That's exactly what Shanky did. It was an overhand chop, not a regular flare chop, an overhand fucking chop, and you fucking heard that shit. Caved Kofi's chest right in. It looked fucking nasty. So that was actually very nice. Shanky was in control. All of a sudden, Woods started playing the trombone, and Shanky started dancing. Jinder Mahal then tagged in. He caught a Trouble in Paradise by Kofi Kingston right out of the gate, and then Kofi won. Kofi won for his team, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. I really don't give a shit. It made no sense, and at the end of the day, you know when your best act for Jinder Mahal is pairing him with a 7-foot giant that's dancing, or because it's in his blood, according to Pat McAfee. He's dancing. If that's your best gimmick for Jinder Mahal, and that's probably the most entertaining gimmick for Jinder Mahal, then you clearly fucking know that the show is bad. When that is the most entertaining thing about Jinder Mahal's act. Why is Jinder Mahal still employed with the company? Why? He adds no value. Ice Shanky. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, they came out and they awaited Adam Pearce's decision. Who's he going to put in the Money in the Bank contract? Who's he going to put in the Money in the Bank contract ladder match? So, Pearce, he then said he understands why they both won in the match. Drew then threatened to beat someone's ass if he doesn't get in the match. Sheamus then reminded Drew that he's won Money in the Bank rather than been cashed in on. So they replayed what happened last week. Pearce then said Sheamus is in. Sheamus then grabbed the mic from Pearce. He ragged on Drew, and then he hyped himself up. Drew then attacked Sheamus out of rage, and then in the end, he then was told, listen, Drew, Sheamus stopped me mid-sentence. I was going to say that you're in too. And that was it. This was lame as shit. Why was it lame? Why? Because WWE has no fucking roster. WWE cannot build a fucking roster for shit. So what happens in the end? They do a Money in the Bank qualifying match. It ends in a double disqualification. And at the end of it all, what do we get? We get both of them getting put in the Money in the Bank ladder match. It's nothing new. They have no roster, so they have no choice. There you go. Lame. Lame as fuck. They're both in. Did we honestly expect anything different? Again, there's no fucking roster. They have no roster whatsoever. So what makes you think that both of these men weren't going to be in the match? Lame. You know what else is lame? Shayna Baszler's booking. Shayna Baszler's booking has been absolute shit on the main roster. She lost to Raquel Rodriguez, and I love Raquel Rodriguez, but she lost to Raquel Rodriguez in legitimately 3 fucking minutes. 3 minutes. She lost to Raquel Rodriguez in legitimately 3 fucking minutes with the Tahara Bomb, and that was pretty much it. Goodbye. Goodbye, Shayna Baszler. Raquel Rodriguez is in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Realistically, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan should be the top 2 contenders to win the match. Why they aren't, I don't know. I'll tell you why. It's because WWE cannot help but bend over backwards and suck on Becky Lynch's nipples just like they do Charlotte Flair. Shayna Baszler's booking is absolutely fucking disgusting. We had Max Dupree. Max Dupree was in the back with Adam Pearce, and he said he will not be sending out his Maximum Male models because Pearce's presentation was not up to code. You want to know why we didn't get a revelation on who the next client or the first ever client of Maximum Male Models was? You want to know why we didn't get the first client of Max Dupree? You want to know? Because they have nobody. Because WWE is legitimately scrambling to find someone. They don't know who the fuck they want to put with LA Knight, now Max Dupree. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know who they want to pair with them. They don't give a shit. They're legitimately dragging this out because they are so fucking clueless. They have no idea. Yet this is supposed to be a company that has 40 fucking creative writers, right? Yet they don't get paid for jack shit. They don't get paid for jack shit. Ridiculous. So, after that, then we finally go into the main event. It was Roman Reigns, Matt Riddle for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Matt Riddle and Roman Reigns. This was actually a very good match. I would even go so far as to say that this was probably Roman Reigns' best match. I would go so far as to say that this was Roman Reigns' best match of the entire year. Absolutely. This was better than the Rollins match, which ended in a DQ. This was better than the Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania. This was absolutely better than the Goldberg match, that's for sure. Absolutely better than any of the matches that Roman Reigns has had this year. Now, Matt Riddle, he absolutely proved to everyone why he is a main event level competitor. Absolutely proved why he should be in a position where he is at the top of the line. Absolutely proved why he should be in a position where he is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best babyface on the roster. What sucks is the fact that they completely fucking erased it. They completely fucking erased it with what they did after the match was over. But the match itself was very good. I would say it was probably Roman's best match this year. Not better than what he was doing last year, but I would say this year it was probably Roman's best match. So Matt Riddle took the fight to Roman right out of the gate, right at the start of the bell. Roman with a right hand to stop him in his tracks. Riddle came back with a PK and a springboard floating bro. The crowd was fucking electric for this match. So Roman Reigns was in control. We had a drive-by for a 2. Riddle and Roman then exchanged some blows. Riddle mounted a comeback with some forearm strikes in the corner and a big exploder. He went for the Broton, but Roman Reigns got the knees up. Riddle with a floating bro to a standing Roman Reigns. That got a close 2 count. Reigns then with a Uranagi. That got a 2 count. Roman Reigns hit a back suplex. He hit a back suplex on the announce table, mocking Randy Orton. That's how great Roman Reigns is. Coming back from commercial again, Riddle hit a final flash knee strike into a Randy Orton-like power slam, which looked very nice. Then we had a draping DDT countered. Riddle and Roman were on the outside. Riddle then delivered a back suplex on the announce table. Roman and Riddle then back into the ring. Roman was caught with a draping DDT. Roman Reigns then blocked the RKO by Matt Riddle. Roman Reigns then with a Superman punch, Riddle kicked out. Roman Reigns went for the spear. Matt Riddle with a beautiful counter, a beautiful RKO, countering the spear. Really great stuff right there. The crowd was fucking on their feet. They were screaming. They were jumping for joy. 1, 2, Roman kicked out. Riddle was not done. He didn't waste any time. Floating bro connected. Riddle then with another RKO attempt. Roman blocked it. Riddle then springboarded off the ropes into a mid-air spear. And Roman Reigns retains the Universal Championship at the end of all of this. So, this was easily Roman's best match all year. It wasn't as good as last year's Roman Reigns matches because we had the match with Edge, we had the match with John Cena, we had the match with Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. We had the matches with Kevin Owens. We had some great matches back then. So it was not better than any of Roman's matches last year, but this year alone, absolutely one of Roman Reigns' best match. So afterwards, the Usos then came out to celebrate with Roman. No way Matt Riddle was winning, obviously. That title is going right to Seth Rollins at the end of all of this. He says, I told you. There's no one left. I told him I'm here to wreck everyone, and then I'm leaving. We wrecked Riddle, and now I'm leaving. Minneapolis, acknowledge me. Roman Reigns then looked to leave. All of a sudden, Brock Lesnar's music hits. Lesnar came out, extended the hand to Roman Reigns for a handshake. He said, fuck this. And then he gave Roman Reigns an F5, and that was it. And then he F5'd the Usos as well. And what happened? We get a last man standing match. A last man standing match at SummerSlam for the undisputed Universal Championship between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. The worst part about all of this is that you're going to have these fucking morons try and defend this shit. That's what sucks about all of this. If anything was displayed here on SmackDown, it was that WWE is never going to change. They are never going to get shit right. They are never, ever going to be in a scenario where they are actually going to create new stars. Never. Never. Vince McMahon is not going anywhere. And if this match proved anything, and if this ending to SmackDown proved anything, it's that it's the same old shit with WWE time and time and time and time and time again. Vince is not going anywhere. You need any more indication that Vince McMahon is still running the WWE? Even though Stephanie McMahon is now appointed interim CEO, just look at what we got here. And I've seen people trying to justify this, saying, oh, they had no choice. They had a fucking choice. They had plenty of fucking choices. They had Bobby Lashley. They had AJ Styles. Hell, I'll even throw one out for you right now. Why couldn't we have gotten another match with Matt Riddle? Are you telling me that wouldn't have sold at SummerSlam? WWE ain't going to sell out SummerSlam regardless of whether or not Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are on show. They couldn't sell out WrestleMania. They didn't even get 70,000 for WrestleMania on both nights. If they didn't even get 70,000, then what does that fucking tell you about the WWE product with their biggest show of the year scattered across 2 nights? They didn't even get 70,000 for both nights. What does that tell you? Tells you that the product sucks donkey nuts. It sucks zebra dick. So at the end of the day, they're not going to sell out SummerSlam even with Brock Lesnar on the card against Roman Reigns. And you're telling me you couldn't have given us another match with Matt Riddle? Matt Riddle, listen to the fucking reaction that Matt Riddle got last night on SmackDown. Are you telling me that the people don't want to see Matt Riddle? Are you telling me that people don't want to get behind Matt Riddle? Are you going to tell me that people wouldn't want to see Matt Riddle in another match with Roman where he could top what he did with Roman here on SmackDown? Are you telling me that Matt Riddle and Roman Reigns wouldn't have been a SummerSlam-worthy main event? Are you serious? They were better off doing a double countout or a double disqualification with Roman Reigns and Riddle here with the Usos causing a DQ and giving us a rematch at SummerSlam. That would have been the best way to go about it. Did they do that? Of course they didn't do that. Why? Because Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns again. It's the same shit over and over and over again. It's 2018 all over again. It's legitimately 2018 all over again. We saw Roman Reigns and Lesnar 3 times throughout 2018. 3 times throughout 2018. Now we're going to get it again here in 2022. It's the same shit over and over again. And at the end of it all, nothing has even come close to what they did at WrestleMania 31. Plus, you had Seth Rollins cashing in, making it a triple threat, and giving us perhaps the best moment of the modern WrestleMania era with him cashing in and giving us the heist of the century. Now, you have no choice. You're going to have Seth Rollins cash in, get the title off of Roman Reigns here instead of doing it at Clash at the Castle. At the end of it all, Seth Rollins is walking out as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And on top of that, at the end of all of this, Roman Reigns and his world title reign is going to be looked at as an absolute failure because at the end of it, they got no new stars over, no new stars were created. All they did was give all the glory to Roman and no one else. And then at the end of it all, you had a guy like Seth Rollins who was already a made man beat him. So at the end of the day, Roman Reigns and his world title reign is going to end up being looked at as meaningless. And on top of that, they didn't even end the brand split when Roman Reigns won both titles. Why did you give him both titles then? Why did you give him both titles? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. That was SmackDown. SmackDown fucking sucked. I'll tell you what didn't suck. Rampage Road Rager. Rampage Road Rager. Rampage Road Rager was a very solid show. Some solid wrestling on the show. We have just hit 20 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for sticking by me. Thank you all for stopping on by and smashing that like button. I guess the power of hardcore sports really works out well. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you, Danielle, Didi, Lisa. Thank you, DJ Sums. Thank you, everyone. You guys have been great. We're going to go over Rampage, and then we're going to get on out of here. And then I'm probably going to relax. I'm going to work out, take a shower, and then probably go see that new Jurassic World movie. But Road Rager, Rampage, very solid show. We had some decent wrestling on the show. Show started off with Jon Moxley versus Dante Martin. Dante Martin was using his quickness early on. Very nice swift drop kick. Moxley then welcomed Dante to chop him. So he was like, come on, Dante, chop me. So Dante chopped him. Moxley was obviously unfazed. Coming back from commercial, Moxley with a Texas cloverleaf. Then he transitioned into a regal stretch, which looked very nice. Martin with a flipping Frankensteiner on Moxley. Very nicely done. Moxley then came back with an avalanche butterfly suplex off the top for a 2. Dante came back with a jumping slingshot plancha on Moxley. Big crossbody in the ring for a 2. Moxley with a rear naked choke, but Dante got out of it. Both men were on the top. We had an avalanche sliced bread by Dante for a 2 count. Moxley then with a very nice leaping cutter. Dante with a very nice, very close sunset flip powerbomb. That got a close 2 count. We had a King Kong lariat by Moxley. That got a 2. Moxley then with the arm-trapped elbows and then a rear naked choke. And Dante Martin tapped out. And Jon Moxley gets yet another win heading into his inevitable match with Hiroshi Tanahashi for the interim AEW World Championship. Really good stuff. Really good stuff here. Very good match here with Jon Moxley and Dante Martin. Dante Martin, man, he continues to shine. Dante Martin continues to shine. So props to Dante Martin. He's doing very good work. We had Swerve, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Shane Swerve Strickland, whatever you want to call him, Swerve Strickland, trying to explain his actions to Keith Lee, saying it was a singles competition, not a tag team competition. All of a sudden, Team Taz came in and said, you haven't beaten us. So it looks like we're getting one more match between Team Taz and Swerve and Lee, which I got no problem with. That's going to be a great fucking show. And that's going to be a great showcase as well. I think that Swerve and Lee should be challengers for the Bucks. I think those 2 teams could put on a great fucking tag team match. Max Caster and the Gun Club. They took on Bear Country and Leon Ruff. This was very quick, very academic. Max Caster actually made an NDA comment about Vince McMahon, which was great shit right there. Vince fucking deserves it. Vince fucking deserves it. Easily. And I don't want to hear anyone saying, oh, WWE is always on their minds. No, they're not. They do that because it pisses you off. They do that because it angers dick riders like you. So, very quick, the Gun Club and the Acclaimed are very, very good together. I love what they're doing. I really love what they're doing. Very, very entertaining. We had Willow Nightingale versus Jade Cargill. This is for the TBS Championship. Jade was showcasing her power early on. A quick punt kick. She then took over. Coming back from commercial, Willow mounted a comeback with a big cannonball senton in the corner. Jade Cargill, this was actually very nice by Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill with a very nice looking pedigree. She executed a pretty decent looking pedigree, and then she hit the jaded on Miss Willow Nightingale. Pretty solid stuff right here, and Jade ranks up another win. She defends the TBS Championship. Afterwards, Athena's music hit. And then all of a sudden, we see Athena coming up from behind them. She delivers a fucking eclipse, or the O-face, as she calls it herself, to Kiera Hogan. Beautifully done. We get a big brawl between Jade and Athena before Statlander made the save. So it looks like we're either getting Athena or Statlander to fight Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship. And if I am booking this, I would absolutely give Statlander the win here. I would give Statlander the TBS Championship. Athena, I feel as though she's going to be fighting for the Women's World Championship sooner rather than later. I have a feeling we could either see Athena versus Thunder Rosa, or we could potentially see Athena versus Mercedes, because I do believe Sasha Banks will inevitably be coming to AEW. Sasha Banks is inevitably going to become the women's champion in AEW, and Sasha's going to take that division to new heights. Easily. But I'm going to go with Statlander, and regardless of who beats Jade Cargill, I'm calling it right now. Regardless of who beats Jade Cargill, I'm saying that Serena Deeb should absolutely be built up to be the next TBS champion after either Statlander or Athena. Absolutely. We got another match announced for Forbidden Door. It is going to be FTR versus United Empire versus Roppongi Vice. It's a winners take all match for the IWGP and the Ring of Honor tag team titles at Forbidden Door. Great shit here. This is going to be a great fucking showcase for both of those championships and all three teams. And then in the main event, we got Darby Allin versus Bobby Fish. This was a very physical matchup. Really good stuff right here. We had Darby and Fish fighting right out of the gate. Darby then with a slingshot plancha. Fish, he missed the moonsault. Darby this was a absolutely brutal fucking suicide dive right here. Dove right through the ropes. Him and Fish crashed against the barricade. Absolutely fucking brutal. Fish then went right for the knee of Darby. He had a dragon screw into the barricade. Coming back from commercial, Darby then with a scorpion death drop. Darby then with a code red for a 2. And then a coffin drop on Fish to the floor. Fish then tackled Darby to the floor. Darby landed right on his neck. Darby was then sent into the steel steps. Both men were on the apron. Fish with a German suplex to Darby Allin. A German suplex to Darby Allin on the apron, which looked very nice. Fish then hit an avalanche, a beautiful avalanche Falcon Arrow off the top. That got a 2. Fish then with an ankle lock, but Darby Allin rolled him up in the Last Supper for the 1-2-3 victory. Very physical match, and this was a must-needed win for Darby Allin. Very happy he got the win. And then afterwards, Fish then attacked Darby. O'Reilly then came out with a chair. They were going to break Darby Allin's leg, just like they broke Sting's leg. All of a sudden, the lights went out. The lights then came back on, and Sting returned. Sting returned to a big pop. He then hit O'Reilly in the balls with the baseball bat. Darby then took the chair, wrapped it around Fish's leg, and delivered a fucking coffin drop to the chair, crushing Fish's leg because he's a fucking maniac. That was awesome. That was awesome. And it looks like we could be headed towards a Red Dragon versus Sting and Darby match, which I have absolutely no problem with whatsoever. I'm telling you, this is going to be absolutely great. It's going to be great. This is going to be great. And I'm going to throw this one out there too. I am going to say that after Malachi Black, which I do believe he's going to win, Malachi Black is going to win the All-Atlantic Championship. And then, if I'm booking this, I'm building up Darby versus Malachi at All Out for the All-Atlantic Championship. Trust me on that. That would be great. But we got a pretty solid Rampage, and it looks like Darby Allin and Sting are on a collision course to get a match with Red Dragon. Darby and Sting, they're on a collision course to get a match with Red Dragon. It's going to be good. Should be good. So, that's it. That's all I got for you, man. That's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. 2 hours and 20 minutes plus of great content. We gained a few new subscribers. And we gained a few new friends. We had a great stream. It was lively. Hardcore sports, man. The power of hardcore sports is going to be a great thing. So I greatly appreciate every single one of you. You guys have been great. And I really do think that without you guys, there would be no DJ Storm. So thank you all. That wraps up this edition of the LFU. Thank you, Lisa, DJ Sums, Danielle, Dee Dee, everyone who joined here. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure to share out all my videos on all platforms, social media. Check out all the links in the description. And at the end of it all, you guys are absolutely the best of the best when it comes to supporters. And me, of course, I'm the best of the best when it comes to wrestling analytics. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. I will catch you guys next week for another great edition of the LFU. But remember, people, who runs the IWC? I want everyone to say it. Who runs the IWC? Who but DJ motherfucking Storms? I'll catch you guys next week.